Undertale is a simple RPG focused on narrative, with an immersive world and simple storyline, all accompanied by amazing soundtrack, intuitive gameplay, and just enough humor to lighten the mood without... Okay, maybe... Moving on. Above everything, I believe the true beauty of a game are the characters. Each main character, which often appears as a boss, is designed to make the player feel in a specific way, and the depth of this design is reflected in the influence it has on the player's choices. From a goofy skeleton obsessed with spaghetti and capturing humans, to a murderous robot who runs TV shows in the underground, every character feels unique. It is because of this design that a player does not blindly kill everyone, and has the option to spare his enemies instead. Undertale features 3 main paths that a player may take, also called routes, based on whether he spares or kills monsters. The neutral route is generally the first that any player experiences, offering a classic RPG experience similar in many ways to The Legend of Zelda. The player fights his way through numerous enemies and intricate puzzles to reach the end of an area, where he will fight a boss and proceed to the next level. During this run, the player will get to know the world he is trying to escape from, as well as a small part of every character's personality, such as their motivations to fight against the player. The pacifist route is much more interesting and unique. If the player spares every single monster he encounters, he will play through the pacifist route. While the beginning of the run might not be very amusing, the further a player progresses, the more he will bond with the characters, and, as a result, he will instinctively want to preserve the world that he is discovering, affected by the flow of positive emotions generated by his own actions. The pacifist route is all about avoiding violence, by either running from battles or, more commonly, by convincing enemies to stop fighting. Undying is a perfect example for this. Her fight is perhaps the most entertaining and challenging, and the player can do nothing to convince her to stop attacking. The only possible action is to run away from her, to run away from the perfect fight. Later on, when the player encounters her again, Undying will reveal her own past as well as important information about other characters. The pacifist route utilizes empathy in a very clever way. After clearing the neutral route and discovering the characters' reactions to the death of their friends, the player feels determined to conclude a game without killing anyone. The genocide route, instead, abuses empathy in an unconventional way. The genocide route requires the player to kill every single monster in the game, and the world changes dramatically as a consequence. Towns are deserted, shops have no shopkeeper, enemies fear the player as he progresses, and the soundtrack becomes grim. Small things like a save area showing the number of enemies left to kill instead of encouraging descriptions, or a smiley face instead of an exclamation mark upon an encounter, contribute towards creating the perfect atmosphere for a murder. Again, Undying is a perfect example of this. On the other routes she is an opponent, during the genocide route she becomes the hero. She sacrifices her life to save a nameless, helpless, and armless monster that the player kills without mercy. The fight against Undying the Undying is hard. It's very hard. No mercy is shown from the first attack, and the player feels challenged again, as every previous boss during the run has died in a single hit. The brilliance of character design becomes evident when, upon killing the characters, the player feels bad. Most games offer gameplay that revolves purely on killing countless enemies, while still making the player feel like a hero throughout the story. Ratchet, for example, kills everything in his way without too many questions, often needing to press a single button to decimate entire areas, while the player does not empathize with simple enemies, and bosses are shown as just evil. Undertale, on the other hand, offers at least some lore for even the smallest monster, and their death soon influences negatively the player experience. Is this a good thing? Not really. Does this fit Undertale? The character the player uses is a child with no name, no gender, and most importantly, no expression. This is a technique known as blank slate, where if a character has no features, it becomes easier to identify with. At the start of a game, the player is asked to name the fallen human. By playing the game, it is clear that the fallen human isn't the character the player is playing, but instead the first human to have fallen in the monster's world. The character the player controls can assume one of 3 identities based on the route taken. When playing the pacifist route, the player is playing as Frisk. When playing neutral, the player is projecting himself in the game and playing the nameless child. When playing genocide, the player is controlling Chara. The control over the actions of a playable character, alongside the response from every other character in game, really allows the player to feel part of the world and enjoy every moment of gameplay.